Hi, folks, and welcome into another edition of This Week in Pearl. I'm your host, Frank Hutton, and I am excited to bring this show to you today as we're going to go under the dome with Representative Gene Newman and Senate Pro Tem Dean Kirby. Today we're going to talk about some exciting stuff that's been in the news. A lot happening. There's only 20 some odd days left in this session, so we're really getting down to where the rubber meets the road. So don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to have a great discussion with these two gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. In Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. Adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
Hi, folks. Welcome back into This Week in Pearl, where we are going under the dome again this morning with my wonderful guests that I truly call friends. I'm glad to have y'all on. Senator Dean Kirby, Senator Pro Tem, and Representative Gene Newman. Welcome, fellas.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
How's Mom and them? Good old Southern introduction. How's Mom and them? Everybody good this morning?
Yeah, everybody's...
I tell you what, people have had a bout of sickness, hadn't we?
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of people around here sick.
I know, right? The sinuses and the tree pollen and the weather. I mean, I laugh about Mississippi weather. I tell people that are visiting, if you don't like the weather right now, wait about 5-10 minutes. Weather will change.
Oh, yeah. No, that's Mississippi, though.
I know, right? It's just absolutely crazy. When people are sick and so much going on, it's just nuts. In y'all's world, too, right?
Yeah.
Y'all have had a real fun last
I don't know
couple of
that I'd
weeks.
use fun.
You wouldn't use the word fun? Well, just for
been a lot of
everybody's, for everybody's out there that are wondering, there are 26 days, 15 hours, and literally 15 seconds left until sign die of this legislative session. Y'all have a lot going on.
Oh, of course, we're not counting.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about counting later in the show. All right, so lots going on with the show. We'll get into a little bit of the program, but I want to hit just a couple of the big deals. All right, so let's just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room.
Is there an elephant in here?
Yeah, there he is. Let's just go on and get the big. Let's just go on and get the big one out of the way. All right, so Friday, this past Friday, you guys.
Exciting things happen on Friday.
Exciting things happen on Friday. On Friday, March the 6th, for people, if you've been under a rock, and you haven't been paying attention, the House did a full strike on a Senate bill, 2103. 2103, which originally was a school counselor ethics bill.
Still is.
And it is. You struck that out, and you turned it into something else.
No, we added to that.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, 2103. We took that most of that original language, and it's still there. Mm-hmm. So we didn't do anything to hurt the bill, but we added to it a $5,000 teacher pay raise for all teachers, an additional $3,000 for SPED teachers, which is special education teachers that are certified. $3,000 for pay raise for assistant teachers. $6,000 supplement for occupational therapist and licensed school psychologist. It sets the maximum salary for school superintendents to be 250% of the equivalent teacher pay. So when they say the equivalent teacher pay, they're talking about the equivalent teacher of what that person is qualified as. Mm-hmm. So if you have a teacher that has a PhD or whatever that teacher is getting paid with that equivalent number of years, then that sets the superintendent's pay at that. Hopefully it doesn't affect very many superintendents, but it will affect some, because we've got some that's way out of line in some school districts. It corrects the holiday payroll issue currently causing a 45-day pay gap. It implements school attendance officer reforms and increases their minimum pay by $5,600. It establishes a district improvement and teacher stabilization supplement program with an appropriation. It establishes of $18 million to DNF school districts to be awarded by demonstrated measurable improvements. There's corrections to PERS Tier 5. State employees retirement adjusted to 30 years from 35 years. The retirement salary adjusted to high 4 years from 8 years. Retirement age adjusted to 60 years old from 62 years old. First responders retirement adjusted to 25 years from 35 years. And it allows retired teachers to return to work while still receiving their PERS benefits.
Okay. That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff.
Now I know the Senate has sent you some individualized bills that they passed that Senator Herbie can speak on.
In our tit for tat stuff, we killed.
Yes, and you killed them all.
Yeah.
And this was the only one remaining.
Yeah.
And then, because I believe if I'm correct about that, the teacher pay raise bill coming from the Senate was only $2,000.
Right.
It was
It also included junior colleges.
And it included junior colleges and senior colleges. This only goes. This is $5,000, but it's K through 12 only, right? So that eliminated the junior and senior colleges. I mean,
I think there's another bill out there that has some junior college stuff in it, but I'm
Okay.
not sure.
But this passed with unanimous support.
Right.
I don't think there was a single no vote.
That's correct. It was 122 yeses.
122 yeses, and so now it's sent over. And I guess the other thing too is y'all added the PERS stuff in here.
Correct.
I know there was a PERS bill that came over from the Senate that had some different numbers in it as well. Y'all have just increased that. Did that bill, that didn't survive committee, did it?
No.
No. So everything that didn't survive committee, y'all basically put in this one
bill.
One shot and sent it to these fine fellows over here.
It's the only ride we had, and that's what they decided to do. But in the legislative process, sometimes you get to acting like young people and
No, really?
and you kill my bill, I'm gonna kill your bill. Anyway,
Yes.
that's
Right.
that all happened, and
Yeah.
I think the House for once made the proper response. We found something, and we put some language in it, and hopefully in the end we can work something out with the Senate and get something passed for our teachers and first responders.
Right.
Get something done.
Right, and I know the speaker, Jason White, has said, he's like, look, the people in the Senate are my friends. He's like, we're not trying to have a war over here. It's not about that. He's like, we want to get something done, and this is just where the House is. We'll send it over to the Senate, and maybe they'll get some conference, and we'll come up with something. So I know that he's not bitter. He's not trying to make a fight with the Senate.
Well, he did, but
But his words since then have said they're my friends.
Yeah,
He said I don't understand why they're so slow about things, but that's
Sometimes you realize you made mistakes, so sometimes you try to correct them.
Right, and he even said, he said, look, we thought we sent him a good bill with House Bill 2.
Yeah, well.
That was, of course, that's the speaker saying that. But I mean, I don't believe he's trying to pick a fight. He's not trying to have a repeat of maybe some stuff in the previous years.
I don't think this is about picking a fight.
It's
I think
not.
this is about, we realize we got to do something with this.
And we're just trying to get everybody on board. And in today's world, with social media and the news and things are just instant. It's not like it was a day ago. So it comes over to you guys, Senator.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this?
Yeah.
Can you share anything?
Sure. Well, first off, I appreciate the House,
Yeah.
Keeping some of these bills alive,
Right.
because we need some of these things. Now, I do think that they went a little high on some things without knowing exactly what the cost is on all this
Sure.
stuff. But that's okay. That's okay, because they're keeping it alive for conference, and I feel like that's what we'll do. We'll study each of those items and see how much it's going to cost, and be very deliberate in what we do. And make sure that we can't give all the money to education and PERS. I mean, we've got other things out there. So, and I'm not saying it does that, but if it's too much, then we're going to be taken away from others. And so we have to be very careful.
I do think the reason we went to the numbers is that's the original numbers we put in. The original bill that we had doing teacher pay raise. I think this is the numbers we had. And I think it was right for us to go back with those numbers.
Sure.
Now we need to figure out between the two of us what we can do.
Yeah, because they sent you different numbers, obviously, that came over to you guys, and you sent them the numbers that y'all just put back in the bill.
Right.
So
that's right. Our chairman said, even on the floor, the education chairman, we was talking about the $2,000 that we had for a teacher pay raise. He made the statement, I would like for it to be $5. That's what they got. He says, but we need to wait and see in March how much money we have to make sure we can do that. That's a recurring expense. That's not a one-time deal.
Right.
I mean, that's every year from now on. Yeah, you want to make people mad, start cutting their salaries. Yeah, and we don't need to do that. And we don't need to eliminate positions. We need to make sure that we can pay our bills, basically. And so that's what we're doing. I told Gene, I know the Lieutenant Governor, and I promise you, he spent the whole weekend looking at numbers and calling actuaries and everything else to make sure that we can do what we can do. But yeah, it needs to go to conference, and let's do the best we can do for them. So the one thing that they didn't have that, I don't know, maybe it can be added in conference. Everything else was added to the bill. We have a middle ground type bill that's been in effect since 2005. I think saying community college professors are paid average between the universities and colleges and K through 12 for the middle, for community colleges. And I don't think nor is IHL in there. And we have to be competitive in those fields to keep good professors. If not, they'll teach in high school.
They'll leave, that's right. They'll go
they'll go to another state and make a lot more. So, yeah. It's just a lot to look at. We're going to take it one at a time. We're coming in early today, as a matter of fact, a few of us, and meet with the Lieutenant Governor and go over each of these numbers and just see where we are. We want to do the best we can do. And I appreciate doing a bill.
So in conference, do your actuaries and those numbers that are generated from the Senate side, do they match the House side, or are there two different actuary groups?
LBO's LBO.
LBO, that's what I'm saying.
LBO's LBO.
LBO's LBO. So
they're just going to
it's not one group of actuaries fighting. It's still LBO. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this.
That's exactly right.
So you'll take the LBO numbers in conference and you'll say, okay, look, this is just where we are, and then this is how it affects everything else.
Yeah, they're going to say, if you do that, then you're going to have to, we already know that we're going to have to have a deficit on Medicaid that we're going to have to pay, and you know that you're going to have to pay this and that.
So it's really just relying heavily on that office.
Someone that's looking at the overall picture.
Right,
You can't just focus in on Medicaid or corrections or public health or whatever. I mean, or education. You got to look at all of it. So,
Sure. Sure.
And we will, and we'll work it out. I feel sure we will. It's just a lot of numbers and a lot of saying we'll do this if you do that type stuff.
Right. We'll do this if you do that type stuff. Right.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm looking forward to that. I know y'all will probably get something done, don't you think? I mean, something's going to have to come out somehow.
Well, it'll either happen or
there'll be a whole lot of gnashing of teeth and.
Yeah, we'll have a special session. I mean, there's no doubt. If we don't come to some type of agreement, I think we'll come to an agreement, and it's just, it's kind of like me. I'm on Judiciary A, and I looked in the committee, and I looked in I forgot how many's on there, 11 or 16 or 13, I can't remember.
Right.
Anyway, and I was looking around, I'm the only non-attorney in there. And so, then I realized why they were asking all those questions.
Right.
Because attorneys have to always up the other attorney. And so I just sat there.
That's exactly right.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, we'll hold it with bated breath. I'm going to say.
Oh, we're gonna have some good bills in the end.
Yes, yeah. I mean, right. We'll hold it. We'll see how. I mean, to talk about the PERS side of it, there's been a lot of conversation around first responders about this.
It has, and I don't think we disagree with what they're doing.
Right.
We just got to make sure we can afford it. It's all it gets down to. And as far as the first respond, I mean, going back to 30 and 25 on first responders, if it's going to be first responders, it needs to be first responders, not just firemen, not just policemen, not just
right.
So
all first responders, and then I'm sorry, it just begs me to ask this question: if we're going to make all these changes to Tier 5 and make it the same way basically as what we have currently, and why did we have Tier 5 in the first place?
Well, I mean, that's because
now
the COLA.
The general person is going to ask this question. I'm just
well, the COLA is part of it, but
yeah.
but also I mean, the Tier 5 also is the money's invested differently.
I know this. But I'm just looking at it from the average keyboard warrior that just gets on there and goes, well, if we're going to go back to the original numbers and stuff, why do we have Tier 5 in the first place?
Of course, Tier 5, if you remember, we had a bill 2 or 3 years ago to change the board, and people went crazy calling us, and I had a lot of calls. I know you did too. We want our people on that board. We don't want someone the governor appoints and the lieutenant governor appoints. We want to elect that person on the board. That's state employees.
Right.
And so we said, okay. So we do that. We left it like it was. Then they made the recommendations that we did, and they said, we don't want those people on there.
which is why I brought up my point.
They'd be saying, you can't have everything.
Yeah, I mean it.
So I don't know the answer to that, but I do think we have some good people on the PERS board. Mm-hmm. I really do, and I think they're trying to do the right thing. I'm not sure they always listen to the right people as far as investing sometimes, but I'm not on the board, so I can't.
Sure.
It's easy. We're on the outside.
Armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a little different when you're about to get hit.
This is very true. This is very true. All right. Okay. So we'll see. We'll pay attention to that. We'll see where that ends up in a couple of weeks, because that's going to be a few weeks before we kind of have something come out of conference. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Unless the Senate just decided to accept what we did.
Well, we could concur.
I guess we'll know that later today then.
We could just concur, but I can almost...
probably not.
I don't think so.
I'm going to go with probably not.
Well, see, I mean, we've heard numbers on that bill from $130 million to $300 million.
Right.
Well, we need to... You probably heard those numbers too. The last number I heard was $280 million that this was going to be. So we need to know what the actual numbers are.
I mean, the way we understood it in the House, the numbers were about $180 million. And then there was some other part of it that may have took it to $200 million. Mm-hmm. But that's the numbers that we were hearing. Mm-hmm. And, you look at the keyboard warriors and it's $300 million.
Oh, right. Yeah. And it's going to affect the budget every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's not a teacher and everyone's not a state employee. We're responsible for all those other people out there in the world too.
Right.
And so we've got to be very careful and try to be as fair as you can. And make sure that you're doing the right thing. So we're very deliberate. We're a little slow, as you said sometimes.
Right.
In a lot of ways.
Well, the speaker had just said, he said, I still understand why the Senate seems to be so much slower.
Because we're a lot of Baptists over here, and we study things to death. I'm a Baptist, and we have committees for the committee. But we want to make sure we're doing the right thing. And
then there's that other issue he just talked about, all them lawyers over there.
All the lawyers.
We got a lot of them.
Well,
and thank God we do. I mean, honestly, the lawyers are really good, and they save us a lot of headaches. But they ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, they do, and that's good.
Yeah,
and look, and
that's the process.
I appreciate the actual process. I get it. I understand. I've been covering this for a long time, and you know, I know a little bit more than the average citizen would know. Yeah. But just to try to explain it to them so that they understand this. You know, this is not some big fight y'all are having. It's not a war. This is how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
It's just getting spilled out into the public domain.
Yeah, and you got to remember that 60 days ago, we had like over 3,000 bills.
Right.
And we're down to a couple hundred now.
Right.
So yeah, it'll work out.
And the speaker, and just to mention one other thing, because you know the school choice stuff is DOA, but just to mention what the Speaker of the House had said, Jason White, you know, he had said about education and all, and about how everybody wants what's best for our school system.
That's right.
Nobody's trying to arbitrarily just wreck the apple cart. We're not. Mississippi's moving up. I mean,
that's
the
right.
Mississippi Miracle, we don't need to fix what's not broke. Yeah. Let's continue on with the direction that we're going. I've been saying that forever. We could have a long discussion, Speaker White, about my thoughts on it. Maybe we might do that in the summer.
Yeah, we might have him back on here.
We'll have him back, right?
Yeah,
and we'll have that discussion. All right. So there were I want to touch on just a couple before we move into some other stuff. There was a couple of other bills that you guys voted on that y'all moved forward. One particular was the Mobile Sports Betting Wagering Act. It's House Bill 4074. You're establishing a regulatory framework. Y'all moved that over to the Senate. Not really,
vote for it.
Yeah, really not going to get in the weeds on that one. But I did want to talk about the Mississippi Severe Winter Storm 2026 Electric Utility Customer Relief and Electric Utility System Restoration Act. That's House Bill 4069. Oh my gosh, what a mouthful!
So help us out. So what it does is it allows energy, because of all the storm losses that they had, to borrow under Mississippi bonds $250 million.
Okay.
And the reason they need to do that through the state of Mississippi is they can borrow that money on the open market and pay 6 or 7%, or they can pay 1% on these bonds. Well, if you're paying 6 or 7% interest, guess who's paying that?
The ratepayers. The
ratepayers.
Right.
And it ain't just the ratepayers in North Mississippi; it's the ratepayers all over the state.
Right.
So if we can get these bonds for them at 1%, then it just makes sense. It helps everybody. It helps the ratepayers. It helps them. It helps them get past this storm that they need to get past. And so that's the whole purpose of it.
And that does make a lot of sense, because you're basically trying to keep electric bills from increasing any more than they already have.
And I can assure you, if they wind up having to borrow that money at market rates, you're going to see your bill go way up.
Right, and not just a little bit, you're about a lot.
Yeah.
To help pay for all these storm damage that we've had, which makes obvious sense. And that, of course, y'all sent that over to the Senate as well. We'll be anxious to see how that comes out. Y'all did pass a couple other things. You passed 4073, which is the Mississippi Work and Save program, which authorizes bond issuance and revises certain income and sales tax provisions to establish a retirement savings framework. Not going to get into the weeds on that one, but there are a few things that are affecting, you know, citizens that are going to travel over to the Senate. We'll kind of keep our eye on them and see how they how they work. Now, it's going to lead me into our next one, which is House Bill 4014. House Bill 4014 was and still is the NIL. You know, you're excluding name, image, and likeness compensation from gross income for state income tax purposes. Now, I want to just kind of tell everybody what that does. For the NIL side, it would be aimed at excluding NIL payments to an athlete for his NIL, including revenue sharing from schools or third parties from gross income for state sales tax purposes. Now,
not sales tax, income.
I mean income tax, not state, but for state income tax, gross income for state income tax purposes. And you voted no.
I voted no.
You voted no because there's no.
Look, if the mechanic out there, the welder out there, if the school teacher out there has got to pay income tax, then so does NIL football players,
sure,
or basketball players, or whatever they may be. Now, let me say this: we're in the process of eliminating the income tax, and that's what the excuse was that they wanted to do this. Is we're going to eliminate it anyway? Why don't we just go ahead and eliminate it for these guys? Okay, if you're going to eliminate it for them, let's just go ahead and eliminate it for everybody else too.
Right.
So no, I'm not going to eliminate it for some put up athlete.
Right.
And not eliminate it for everybody else. So when we eliminate it for everybody else, they won't have it.
Obviously, right?
Right.
But I mean, that was good that you voted no. There's a lot of people that are not for that, and I wanted to say over on the Senate side, because y'all Senate, narrowly passes. You send it over to the Senate, and our Senate Finance Committee Chairman, Senator Josh Harkins, which we all know him very well, was reported by WDAM on the Coast. They got a quote from him, and he says, "Don't worry, it is dead on arrival to the Senate. It is DOA," according to Senator Harkins, who is the Senate Finance Committee Chairman, correct?
Correct.
It's DOA.
It is, yeah.
It's not coming out of Senate committee.
He said that again this morning. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, and I understand. I won't name the representative introduce the bill, but I understand why he did it. He was trying. Some other states have done that to lure athletes to their universities, but it's not fair to the working people of the state.
No, it's not fair to me or you or anyone else, and I appreciate that Representative Newman of voting no and bringing that up. That's not fair to everybody else.
Yeah.
You are eliminating the state income tax over a period of years anyway.
That's right.
So
and it's hard to feel sorry for somebody that gets $1 million or $5 million or whatever a year
for playing.
For playing a child's game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is one of the problems I have with the NFL, but that's another conversation. Excuse me, that's another conversation for another time.
Let's give the income tax credit to those students that made straight A's.
How about
4.0.
Well, that's a good idea. Put that in there in conference and send that back. If you make straight A's and all that stuff, then you get a tax break.
That's right.
I would be for that.
And there are a lot of students at work.
I would. Yeah, I would be for that. That'd be a good idea. I kind of like that one. Shooting off the hip. I like that idea. All right. So I'm glad that's dead and done. So let's move on to one other thing that has just been talked about to death practically, but it has made some changes in the House. You guys took Senate Bill 2838 and you did a strike on it, and you put in the Emergency Alcohol Distribution Act. This is what you guys did. And what you're doing is you are allowing licensed alcohol permit holders, which will be liquor stores, restaurants, casinos, bars, those sorts of things, to bypass the ABC warehouse and purchase or ship directly from the manufacturer or out-of-state seller. So this is an issue that's been ongoing. Citizens have been watching this. I see this in the news about the ABC warehouse and distribution and trying to get it out because of the conveyor system and this pallet pull system that they've gone to. All of this. So this was the House trying to do an emergency to try to figure this out, right?
So number one is I voted for that bill. I voted for it because I am against the state of Mississippi being in the whiskey business. We don't belong there. We need to get out of it. We shouldn't be operating that warehouse to begin with. Well, right now you got all these businesses, and a lot of them are mom and pop restaurants, mom and pop liquor stores. That's a viable part of their business, and they cannot get product. So let's just let them get it from the producer, and they can pay the taxes when they can pay the same amount of taxes and just keep paying the taxes to the state, and they can still operate their business until they get that new warehouse finished.
Right.
And it has a drop dead date of it in 27.
July 1st of 2028.
28, okay, yeah.
July, temporary measure through July 1st of 2028, which you give ABC time to resolve warehouse fixes and transition to the new facility.
So that's what it does. And I voted for it. I don't normally vote for alcohol bills.
Well, I was just fixing to point out to our constituents here, you don't vote for alcohol stuff.
No.
You were a no.
I'm a no, but I voted for that one because I don't think the state ought to be in the whiskey business to start off with, but you got too many mom and pop people out there that are hurting real bad right now because they can't get the product to sell.
And I agree with you because
casinos even.
Because this is about revenue. We talked about last week that we're missing $30 million of state revenue this year.
That was last week.
That was last week. That's
now.
just 2 months of revenue, and with the state shortfall, we estimate around $100 million right now. That's 30. That's what 30% of it, right
well, and
there.
you got to remember that 50% of every dollar we collect goes to education too.
Sure.
So you can take half that and say this is what it's costing education.
Exactly.
That will change some people's minds on that issue.
It would think, but here again, the Senate killed a bill years ago about privatizing and getting out of this. I mean, this is just bringing this back around, Senator. I mean, where do you think this heads? I know this just happened, but I mean,
it did, and none of us have seen the bill yet.
Seen it yet.
So
I know this.
We'll make sure.
Purely speculative over here. I'm putting him on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Gene on everything he said, and if it's just that and doesn't go to conference and other things be added to it or taken away from it or whatever,
right?
It sounds okay.
Right. I mean, it literally.
We need to help.
It sunsets it on July 1, 2020. It's drop dead.
We don't need to be losing the revenue if they're going to get it anyway. So.
Yes, and so as I went through there, the House has said they're calling it an alcohol crisis in the media. I mean, I look at it, it's not a crisis. It's really more of it's mom and pop being able to keep the lights on and being able to stay in business. That's really what this is about. It's not an alcohol crisis.
Now, it's going to hurt the casinos, but they can stand the hurt.
Yes, and they buy
more so than mom and pop.
But mom and pop out here in this restaurant that
relies on alcohol by the glass or something like that.
That's right.
They need that to help, because food costs. I was talking to a local restaurateur just last week, Thursday night actually. And we were discussing the cost of chickens, eggs, beef products, everything.
Yeah.
He's paying sometimes double or even triple this year versus what he was paying several years ago just in product. And there's a lot more going on, obviously. Besides, so restaurants rely on that alcohol.
And now that gas and diesel prices have gone up again, expect the prices to go up some more.
Yeah, right. Now, they haven't gone up as much as they did under Biden.
No.
And of course,
and I think it's temporary until all this is worked out in Washington.
I'm all for it. I'll be happy to pay a little bit more to keep nuclear missiles being pointed at me from Iran. I'm happy as a Klan.
Exactly.
I've got no issues with it at all. But we need to continue to work on getting these prices down. And I agree, and I hope this doesn't stagnate in committee and it actually gets in conference and y'all work something out.
I think
to maybe get something, even if you back the date up to the end of 27, whatever it is. I do believe we need to do something.
Yeah.
And
I think we all feel that way.
And here again, the House is, as you pointed to earlier, just keeping something alive, which gives you an ability to discuss it. And don't take strikes as a bad thing. When they do this, right, Representative Newman? Don't take it as a bad thing.
When they do a strike all your time.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Don't take it as a bad thing. We're trying to
keep things alive.
Trying to keep things alive, so that y'all can. Because we're so far. What did I say we had? 26 days, 14 hours, 29 minutes, and 27 seconds.
One of the things you may see is you'll hear us talk about a strike all, and the only thing that changes in the whole bill is they added a reverse repealer in it to keep it alive, to make sure it goes to conference.
Right.
But they still using the word strike all.
Right.
They're not really striking all the language out of it. They're just adding other language to it. But it's just the phraseology that the lawyers use.
Yeah, in other words, we're just doing another bill basically on that bill.
You're just adding.
So you know, to pass something that's title sufficient to pass as amended, strike off.
Okay. Helps people understand that it's just language. Just
is.
read the bill. There's a lot of stuff in there. We piggybacked another one on top of it. Is basically
Yeah,
what
basically.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's basically
We're
what
just adding to it.
you're just adding to it. Is basically what you did. All right.
I have seen strike-offs totally change the
Yeah,
bill.
I have too.
right.
You know,
So
just the opposite direction. So
all right. So we'll see how that goes. I'm anxious to see. I wanted to kind of bring us around a little bit to where we are focused now. Is in appropriations, and the Senate moved out. Yours total was around approximately 7.89 billion. It was higher education of 4.8 billion, workforce 20.9, Veterans Affairs 24.8, agriculture and commerce 9.9. Those are millions. The higher education was 4.8 billion. That was the larger one that y'all passed in late February. I mean, just a week or so ago. But those are some of the larger ones. Both chambers have passed their respective bills, but I was just going to say y'all have moved some stuff over.
It looks like we're disagreeing a little bit on the mid-level funding I was talking about, the middle ground for the community colleges and the IHL, and we want to do all we can do for K through 12. So yeah,
right,
including the assistant teachers and special ed, whatever. So.
Yeah, because I mean the appropriations is kind of where we got stuck last year.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of just sent everything out of control, and we ended up with, a special session just to pass a budget only, and we got nothing else.
Well, after we get, as Gina said, once the legislative budget office looks at all these different numbers, and the chairman meet with them, and they will, and the conferees. Then they'll say this is what the state can afford to do. So,
well, I know that Chairman Hobson,
who's a good one,
has he reported in the news this weekend. He said negotiations have already been going on. Y'all have all been negotiating between the two bodies, and he said he described it as fruitful. So, since he described it as fruitful, he said that he plans to take up the House budget bills by the end of this week.
Sure.
So it sounds to me like that since he's saying discussions have been fruitful, it looks like we're not going to have a repeat of what we had last year.
I hope
based
not.
off of
And
what
It won't be as bad as what we had.
it won't be as bad as what we had last year.
We're gonna pass some of those budgets. I mean, so it won't be as bad.
So if it sounds fruitful coming out of conference, then it's probably going to be good. All right, so we've got some deadlines coming up pretty soon, and we kind of laugh and joke about this a little bit, right? That it seems like as you get later in the session, there's a deadline every day.
Every day, almost, yeah.
Starting Wednesday, the day this releases, you have a deadline. Wednesday is the 65th day of session, is the deadline for original floor action on general bills and constitutional amendments originating in the other chamber.
Yeah.
So that's the deadline. And then, of course, you've got a deadline the next day, and then a deadline the next day. And so that really starts Wednesday on the 11th. You've got a deadline every day until the session ends. Is that about right?
That's about right.
Yeah.
Representative Newman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
We're going to have so many bills.
Kill bill day.
Yeah, we're going to have so many bills in conference this year where we didn't quite agree.
Right.
And some of those will die, but I'm talking about general bills even, not just revenue bills.
Kill bill day.
It's Kill Bill Day come Wednesday. And come Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're really going to see a culling of.
Oh, yeah. And I think I looked, and we've probably got 170, 180, I believe it is, bills still on the calendar that we got to get rid of one way or the other. We either got to pass them or not pass them.
Or they just don't come up for
by
vote.
Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Midnight. Well, not midnight. That's appropriations, but on general bills.
On general bills by
8 o'clock on Wednesday.
And then Thursday is the deadline for reconsideration and passage of those general bills and constitutional amendments.
Yeah.
And then Friday is the deadline to dispose of motions to reconsider on general bills. So
then we're in conference.
Then you're in conference.
And then you got deadlines for different general bills and revenue bills. So.
Right, because that starts the following week. Yeah. But so this week is basically Kill Bill week.
Yeah.
This is where we finally get down to some dead bills.
Yeah, but
not dead.
That's right.
But dead, which is the second level of dead.
Yeah.
Go back and watch some of our past shows where we discuss dead, and
well, I mean, great example of that.
Right.
I mean, the House killed some of our education bills, as you saw.
Right.
But then they turned right around and put in another bill that we had. So it was dead, but it wasn't dead.
Exactly. Good point.
And so now
it's alive.
Now it's alive again.
Yeah. So
but
it could start all over. It could be dead again. It could be dead again. So.
I know it's fun to laugh about it a little bit, but in all seriousness, that is the way that it works.
It is.
And I do like.
And there's a reason that it does it that way.
Yes.
Our system is designed to kill bills, not to pass them.
Right.
That's right.
It flushes out things to where we really feel like we're moving in the right direction, and we've got good leadership doing it.
We do have some good people there, and
Lieutenant Governor Hoseman over there on that side. Great leadership there. Jason White working really hard at Speaker House. Great leadership. Everybody's moving in the right direction.
I probably said this before, but when I first got elected, I couldn't believe some people were voting on some issues the way they voted, and it would upset me that some of the other senators would vote that way. Mm-hmm. And then after I'd been there a little bit, I thought, oh wow, they're doing what they're supposed to do. That's the way their constituents feel, and they're there to represent those people, and they're voting, even though I disagree.
Sure.
But what's good for Jackson may not be good for Pearl or Brandon or Florence or wherever.
Right. Or or hot coffee.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Correct.
And if those senators over there are voting the way their people feel and what they think they want and need, then they're doing their job, and I shouldn't be upset with them. So. Right. But we do get upset with them because why are they doing that?
Well, we're all human, right?
Yeah.
We're all human. We have passions.
And I know
most of us are.
I know Representative Newman's done it, and I've done it too. I've held my nose a lot of times and voted yes
just
on
push
something
the button.
because I knew even though I personally may not feel that way, I knew that the majority of the people in my district felt that way.
Right.
Well, that's like that alcohol bill. I just
went all over you, didn't it?
I mean, I don't like it at all, but I felt like there's enough business owners and people out there that needed that. Get that place more efficient.
It's about brick and mortar and paying the light bill.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what this boils down to. Whether you agree with liquor sales or not, there are nice, fine people in this state of Mississippi who own liquor stores. That's how they make their living. And they may only have one. It's a mom and pop package store.
And most of them do not drink, by the way.
Right. They're not, right.
Those people.
They're business owners.
Yeah.
And they're just providing a service that me as an American have a right to. But yes, I agree with you, Representative Newman. Yes, you vote for that. You allow them to, and I hope something in conference comes out where y'all say, okay, we can do something like this temporarily. And I would like to see maybe next year, let's start talking about maybe we get rid of A, B, C in that capacity, and we start looking at another way of doing this and get Mississippi out of the alcohol business. I agree with that.
Well, we've invested a lot of money in a new facility.
Well, we
still make a good warehouse.
We set fire to plenty of money on other stuff, and as you just pointed out, there's a company out there that'd love to have a warehouse with a nice system in it. So somewhere we could always sell it. Anyway, you wanted to mention something about voting.
I do. By the time y'all are watching this, you will have voted for the U.S. Senate seat and the House seat in the federal primary elections. I hope you voted. What I know is there are entirely too many of you that are not voting. I don't understand it. I don't understand why the one true right that you have in this country, that you wouldn't participate in all elections. You're the one that makes the decisions about who represents you. And most of you won't even take the time to go vote, that won't even take the time to make that decision. Sometimes I want to just get people and shake them and just, tell them to go vote. Sometimes I want to pass a law to make it a felony that you don't go vote. Folks, you don't have an excuse for not voting. You're just too lazy, is the only thing I can think of. If you didn't vote in this election, please, please, when the general election comes around in November, go vote. Act like a responsible citizen and go vote, please.
I want people to remember that they've even had forefathers or relatives or whoever that fought and died for this country, for them to have the right to vote and for their freedom. And they need to honor those people, if nothing else, and go vote. It's very important. And I've always said, and I've had it said to me, you have no right to complain about an elected official if you did not go vote for or against that person. Mm-hmm. So
I totally agree. And I think you guys are well on your way to helping fix that problem, because there's a bill that y'all have putting civics back in school.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you don't understand civics,
you don't understand the
importance of why you need to go vote. And I'm going to share with you guys one more thing. This is a large topic about voting. I'm going to share with you one more thing. It's all been by design. The Democrats, by design, want you voting all the time. They want you voting all the time because Democrats love process. And Democrats worship government. Unfortunately, that's their religion, and that's the truth. And they want to vote all the time. Conservatives, Republicans, we want to go live life and have freedom and be able to do things that we want to do. We need to fix that. Yeah. We need to fix voting to where we're voting every 2 years for everybody, period. Let's get voting consolidated down and take it out of the hands of the Democrats where they have opportunity to cheat across the country. And let's move this back down to consolidation to where we have less, because it's called voter fatigue, Representative Newman. That's what it's called. You took civics out of school. We took God out of school. We took all these things out of school. It's time to start putting this back. And it's time to start looking at the real cause. It's called voter fatigue and not understanding why it's important to vote. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. But we need to do some things on the state level, the federal level as well, and we need to consolidate this and quit all this voting all the time, because it's what exactly the Democrat Party wants, and it's how they maintain federal power, and it's how they take and shove things down our throat that we don't like. And that's the truth. And because I hear it plenty of times, you want people to vote more? Let's consolidate those things down. Let's get it to where I don't have to go to the poll but every 24 months. And I promise you, you'll see an increase in voting and civics in school. Go vote.
It's important.
Just because you have to suck it up, Buttercup. Pull your pants up and get out there and go vote, and then tell our legislators fix the problem.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Sitting back on your laurels and being lazy and all that is not acceptable anymore. People died for your right to vote.
That's what I said. I believe that, and I know that.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, I hope y'all have a wonderful week.
We ended up we started out all happy and end up very serious.
Well, it is serious. It is
serious
problem. I agree with you.
I hope we have 20% of the people vote this time.
And it's sad.
I don't think it'll be 5%.
It probably won't be. I mean, we're electing mayors of the city of Pearl. 28,000 people live here, and we're electing the mayor with 1,500 votes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
ridiculous.
Yes. There's no sense in that. I mean, it should be 10,000 minimum.
It should be.
Yes. And it's really
It should be everybody. Everybody who's able to vote should be voting.
Yeah.
I mean,
you want to make it a felony.
You look at all these countries, and like when they was doing all that in Afghanistan, and all those people were going to vote. Every one of them voted, and all of them had that purple ink on their fingers. Mm-hmm. You know, if everybody can vote over there in one day, everybody can vote here.
We can in one day. We can do it here. We need to fix it. We need to fix all of this. That's something for another day. It's a topic for another day. I agree, because we could sit here and discuss that all day long. But we do need to fix some of these problems, if not most of them. we're all conservatives sitting here at this table. Everybody's going to go do their job. We need everybody voting, even if you don't agree with me or you.
That's right. It doesn't
go
matter.
Vote so that your voice is heard. It's not necessarily whether you win or not. It's whether your voice gets heard.
And know who you're voting for.
Oh my gosh, civics.
Know who you're voting for. It's so important. And these, by the way, we did pass a bill this year that any commercial dealing with political has to say AI generated at the bottom of it, so that if it's not really the person that's out there doing whatever they're showing or saying whatever they said,
have to have a disclaimer.
Because look, like I say, you can make anybody do anything now with AI, and it's ridiculous.
Well, I'm looking forward to this week to see how you guys do with some of the things that we talked about and how that shakes out, teacher pay raises and all that.
And it will shake out.
And it will shake out. I think, like you said, even as Senator Hobson said, it's fruitful.
It is. So and we have the same goals.
Y'all all have the same goals. So I appreciate the sausage making. Thank you very much. I hope it tastes good when it comes out.
And we'll have and the puzzle will be complete.
And the puzzle will be complete.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so y'all don't run off, because when we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on this week in Pearl. We'll be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. And Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. And adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
Hi folks, welcome back into another edition of This Week in Pearl. What a great conversation I just had with those two fine gentlemen. Really enjoyed them taking their time on Monday when we filmed this to come in and sit down and discuss the stuff that's going on at the Capitol with us and how that's going to affect you. Lots of things happening, and as Representative Newman said, please, if you didn't go vote in the primary, be sure and do that in the general. It is definitely something that's very important for you as a citizen of this country to exercise your right to vote. Whether or not you agree with the person or not, vote against them, vote for somebody else. But let's hear your voice. It's very important that you vote and exercise the right that was given to you by a lot of people who shed blood to do that. So I encourage you, if you didn't vote in the primary, please do so in the general. All right, so what's happening in Pearl? Well, there's a lot going on. Coming up pretty soon, right now we're in spring break, but coming up pretty soon is going to be the mayor's Easter egg hunt. I believe that's going to be on April the 4th, going into Easter. So you'll see that pretty soon. It's just in a few weeks, folks, if you can believe it. A few weeks from now, we will be at Easter, which is April the 5th. So the mayor's Easter egg hunt is coming up very, very soon on April the 4th. Be looking for more information on that, as well as Pearl Day coming up in April on the 25th. That's going to be headlined by Daughtry and opening by Hinder. So Pearl Day will start in the park, I believe, at 9 in the city park there on 80, and then make your way over to Trustmark Park North parking lot on April 25th. At 5:30, gates are open. Come in, bring a lawn chair. Make sure you bring your clear bag, because there is a clear bag policy, and do bring a chair, because there are no seats in the north parking lot. But it will be opening Hinder. We'll take the stage at 7, and then 8:45, multi-platinum recording artist Daughtry will take the stage. It should be a fantastic performance in April on the 25th. All right, guys, I enjoyed bringing you this show this week, so I hope you all have a wonderful week. Until next time, I'll see you later.